Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Up the middle, Johnson. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and long. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Williams. That's caught at the 25. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Stephon Diggs, as the first half is winding down. And the Broncos are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. And now the offense is going to stay out there as the Broncos will go for 2.
Oh, my goodness.
And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good.
He wouldn't have got there because he stopped.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And that's going to be short of the landing zone. It doesn't make it there, so that means the ball's going to come out to the 40. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. To throw, Cousins. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Leo Chanel. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Now Williams throwing to start the drive. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
Williams, a final shot before break. Going deep for Diggs. And that's going to be incomplete. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. And a nice return, but he's going to pay for it as they knock him down hard at the end. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets to the Broncos' 25-yard line. 61 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. So you got the lead here in the second half. Obviously, you love big runs like that at any time. Here you really like them.
And how about the confidence that's being exhibited by that offense now? They don't care what you're lining up doing on the defensive side. They want the big fella to carry the football and carry it often.
Play action now. Cousins. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. And the Broncos will take over here at their own 14-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. Jordan Davis just a monster on that play, stopping it from going anywhere.
I know they'd love to take some heat off of that young quarterback, but so far, not much in the running game, and this won't help things either. A loss on that play.
Here's Williams. From the gun, he'll throw. Looking long for Thomas. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's all the way across the 50 before he's finally pushed out of bounds. A huge play there for Denver. 42 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 46. Off the play fake, it's Williams. Shakes off the sack. Flush to his right. Able to locate his running back open downfield. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Again, it's Johnson. Down inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Chris Johnson. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos are back within a score.
Man. Go!
So a strong drive here to lead off this third quarter and gets them right back in this football game.
And I think we can safely call that a statement drive because they had to be saying, we didn't put our best foot forward in the first half, but we certainly mean business now. Maybe a better term, a prove-it drive. They proved it to themselves.
You got to come with good stuff, Joe. You've been coming in bullshit.
Up and good.
Okay?
And the lead is down to 2. Following the touchdown, here's Elam to kick it away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly. That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming third down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
From the gun, here's Cousins. He's got his target. That's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That 3rd down conversion good for 23. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 75 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I'm not hitting him,
We've played 3 quarters.
I'm hitting
You are
him.
watching Madden Ultimate Team
him.
on EA Sports.
Yeah.
Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Now Cousins hands to Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. And not enough on the throw that time, as that one is incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have gets chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. Cousins to throw for it on 4th. That's to the sideline and pulled in. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down. 2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points.
You suck that bad. It's going to backfire
on you. So it's Raider
you.
football as we get
It's
you
going to backfire on you.
They face a 2nd down, but they are in field goal range. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Cousins to throw. He's going to pick up the 1st down and then some. And he gets it all the way down to the 3.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Cousins with a give to Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Better
After
stop
that
playing with
run,
that
still
stuff,
a good
bro.
amount of
You're
meat
not
on
gonna
the bone here
score.
for this 3rd down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the 1st down.
Touchdown! Amari Cooper.
Yo, bro. That was bullshit.
And
the fact that you broke
able to
2
build on to
tackles.
their 4th quarter lead.
Fuck on. That was phony. Nigga, what?
Carlson on for the PAT.
So the person who swat and dived the ball impacted you, like, not any bit.
And that
like,
makes it a 9-point
outta
game.
here, bro. That was a contested ass lucky pass, bro. That was a bailout.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
3 people right there. Like, get the fuck on.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Out, you had to bail your old ass out, man. Wow.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Throwing to start the drive. Williams. That is incomplete.
Just a difficult situation to be in here in the final minute. Down 2 scores, you know you need some providence from somewhere. They're going to keep firing away till the end, but this one falls incomplete.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Escaping the pressure right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
I just don't
and
get
that's
it.
going to be incomplete.
I'm throwing it
Good
wrong.
effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Eluding the pressure right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance
Nigga,
left.
if
And
the
this
nigga
has to
really
be a
had
1st
defense,
down
bruh,
or a touchdown.
I
But
wouldn't
this
have
game's
points.
over.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. That is caught. And he'll get this
If he
one
really
right
had
up
defense,
just
I
shy of
would've had
the
points.
45-yard line. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. That would complete downfield to Thomas. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down
Really
just
had
shy of the
defense, he wouldn't
20.
line up in that
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
Yo, they
And
are
that one too
scamming
far
me.
in front. He couldn't reel
Wide
it in. It's
open
incomplete.
dots.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar
dots,
has to be
dots,
up for any potential
dots,
deep shots.
dots.
And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as
Dots.
long as they hold this lead.
Dots.
And his throw here's incomplete.
Nice
nigga.
back-to-back plays defensively.
If
They're
you're
stacking
behind
momentum
me,
now.
how do
One
you know that
incompletion,
the
two
ball
incompletion, they're going
It's
for
coming.
more.
Like, you're chasing me. Like, that don't even make any sense.
To the air once more.
You're
Williams
chasing me.
able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with a clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
So 15 ticks remaining as they line up for the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though, now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
I learned something this game, though. So we good. GG's.
So this one, a victory for the Raiders.
That's crazy. General thought to man of Jalen Ramsey. Oh, he's good. He looks good. Get him. Alright, let me see. Line up. Let me fix him up. Um, 5. We don't need a cornerback number 5. What the fuck?
Let's do this.
Introducing Chevy's best lineup of SUVs ever.
Yo, welcome back to another Mooney Mercury Baby podcast where we talk about real shit, spiritual shit, all kind of shit in existence, whatever the fuck I want to talk about. You feel me? And we are going to be talking about, in this video, what you pay attention to will linger on in the mind. I want to bring this up for a few specific reasons, that just to make y'all aware. And the reason why I do this is because what I'm about to say is more proof to why you got to be even more careful with what you pay attention to than you think. For the reasons I'm gonna bring up in this video. There's a whole bunch of other videos I've done and where I've mentioned similar shit. You know, I have other videos on like your attention and how to direct and guide it and all that. And I talk about it in many different angles and perspectives and different contexts. But in this one, I want to talk about how, like, let's just get into it. Fuck it, let's get into it. So look, I got a few different points I want to go over. So yeah, what you pay attention to will linger on in the mind. This is a reason why you need to be even more careful with what you pay attention to. Why do I say that? Because look, it's one thing to stop paying attention to something at the moment. It's a whole nother thing though to completely clear it off your mind. I repeat, it's one thing to stop paying attention to something at the moment, but it's a whole nother thing to completely clear it off your mind. So, you know, we can pay attention to shit at any given moment, at any given time. I could take my awareness and just pay attention to whatever the fuck. In the external, like something outside of me to look at, or in the internal, something I'm thinking or feeling about, right? I'm giving my attention and my energy to these things, right? My awareness is on these things, right? At any given moment, I can get distracted or pay attention to some bullshit outside of me or within me. If I have some issues and some shadow work I still need to fucking do. You feel me? So it's now when we pay attention to these things at the moment, you can, for example, I'm gonna give y'all a great example. All right, you see this pen? Look at this pen right here, right? Okay, everybody's attention and awareness is on this blue pen that's in my hand, right? Okay, so right now we're all focused and having our attention on this blue pen that's in my hand. But put it down or put it away and now try to get your mind off what just happened. Now, what you're gonna notice is it takes time to get shit off of your mind. You can't just completely switch off or snap off your and forget your memory on some Men in Black shit, or have some short-term memory loss and completely forget what the fuck just happened 5 seconds ago. You can't do that. It's already ingrained in your memory. You see what I'm saying? So even when we stop paying attention to that blue pen will linger on in our mind for even after paying attention to it. At the moment, it will still linger on in our mind. Even when we try to move on to some other shit, even if we try to distract ourselves with something else, there will still be a certain percentage level of that blue pen in our mind. I could have been like, okay, take your mind off this blue pen, now put your mind on this Benjamin. We could all have our mind and our attention and awareness on this Benjamin right now. All puns intended. The thing to smoke out of and shit. But you're still gonna remember the regular blue pen I just put down, right? It's not like you completely forgot that happened. So that means it's still on your mind to a certain degree. You feel me? So there is a lag or a delay of the thoughts and feelings or the frequencies and vibrations that we intake, and then there is also a lag and delay with those energies when we clear it away. So when we intake all these things, it takes time to comprehend it. Like somebody could ask you a question, it may take you time to comprehend the question they're asking, depending on how complicated the question is. That's you in taking it over time, the energy or the thoughts and the feelings and the frequencies and vibrations being thrown at you, and then for you to come up with an answer for that question is going to take time too, because you would have to think about it, process it within you, and then when you have an answer, go ahead and explain it. And even the explanation has like a time frame to it. Nothing is just one thing directly after the other. This video reminds me of my old video called I have an old video that's a classic, a low-key esoteric classic. Some of y'all might even already know about it if y'all been around for a long time. I have an old video called the fade in fade out effect. Y'all should go watch that video because it's kind of similar to what I'm talking about right now, if you want more context behind that. But to come back to this topic, so as you can see, thoughts and feelings come and go, and it comes with a lag and a delay. Nothing is just ever like, you don't ever experience something or are aware to something or paying attention to something like instantly, and then you instantly forget it once you're done paying attention to it. That's not a real thing. It takes time for you to focus on something and adjust to whatever you're paying attention to. And then it takes time for you to take your mind off of it as well as you move along forward to something else or whatever the fuck. It's kind of like meditation. You know how they tell you if in order for you to meditate effectively or to be good at meditation, let your thoughts and feelings come and go. Like just observe your thoughts and feelings as they come and then let them go, but don't like over attach to these thoughts and feelings. It's kind of similar to that. It's damn near the same thing, pretty much. Because when you're meditating, you could even see that happen. Like, whatever you pay attention to has a lingering effect. You feel me? So it takes more than just you taking your mind and attention off something. It takes you to actually be good at letting it go as well and forgetting it as well, which everybody has different levels of how good they are at that. Meditation is a good test for that. How easy can you let go of shit? How easily can you let go of thoughts and feelings that come and go? And how quick can you let go of these things and forget these things? Everybody has different skill level when it comes to that. Not everybody is so good at that, aka the bots, the sheep, the more animalistic humans, and then the more spiritually evolved humans who have more control of their energies within them. They could be better at that. You feel me? Controlling their energies or letting shit go or comprehending shit better, blah blah blah. You feel me? So that's kind of how that works for them. But no matter what, as long as you're a spirit in a human body, nobody in these human bodies can just be stoic enough to completely like detach and attach moment by moment as if they're living life on a constant self-automated saving system, a constant self-automated
Fall into savings on your next vehicle all month long at Sheehy. Hurry and shop the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection today. Sheehy makes car buying easy.
I guess delete and saving system, if you know what I mean. Like, and what do I mean by that? Like technological wise, like deleting would be you forgetting shit, deleting information and or memory or whatever, or storage. And then what was the other thing I said? Saving. And then saving information would be you not deleting that information, actually being able to retain whatever you just paid attention to, aka the reality of things, the lingering of things. It's like we're saving shit within us. Shit, whatever we experience doesn't completely go away. It's kind of like people that experience negative situations and trauma and develop PTSD and shit like that. That shit gonna linger. You can't just go through a crazy ass situation and then forget it the next day. So you see what I'm saying? It's shit deep. What you pay attention to, so it's the same on the macro in crazy situations, and it's the same on a micro in smaller situations, moment by moment, depending on what you pay attention to. What you pay attention to will linger on in the mind, even when you're done paying attention to, even when you're done giving it your full attention and you're onto some other shit. It's still gonna linger somewhere in your mind. You feel me? Now I'm gonna give y'all some advice on how to like pretty much how to get better at like not letting bullshit linger on in your mind, shit that you don't want to pay attention to. Because instead of having to constantly clear your mind from previous things you no longer want to pay attention to, why not just be more disciplined and aware of what you give your attention and energy to in the first place moving forward. Therefore, you don't have to always clear your mind all the fucking time of bullshit and clutter of shit you have no business paying attention to in the fucking first place anyway. You see what I'm saying? So the better you guide and direct your attention from here on out, not just paying attention to whatever the fuck, the more clear and clean your mind will be from bullshit. You feel me? And you have to be accountable of that. It's all on you. I have a video, older video called "You Will Always Be Distracted." Directing your attention. Y'all can watch that video for more context. But it's kind of similar to this video, but slightly different. But I just felt like mentioning it. Now, but like I said though, for this video, the better you guide and direct your attention, the more clear and clean your mind will be from bullshit. You see what I'm saying? And like I said on my other video, you will always be distracted, but it's all about directing and guiding your attention to what you'd rather be distracted by versus shit that's probably gonna have you distracted from your purpose, pretty much. Like having your mind and attention on shit that's having your mind cluttered with lingering energy that you can't even fully focus on your purpose now because of that. That's why when I take a break from my purpose to recharge and regenerate, I don't even like paying attention to too much shit that's gonna just, I don't even like paying. Sometimes you just gotta sit down and meditate and not do shit, even for a break. That's why I said in other videos or a previous video why meditation is very powerful. It's like one of the best ways to recharge and take a break, because you're fully giving your energy and mind clarity and clairvoyance and the cleaning from whatever the fuck y'all humans be wasting y'all energy on and be letting y'all and draining yourselves from whatever y'all distracted by, externally and internally, because all thoughts and feelings drain us, like I said in that one video. You feel me? All thoughts and feelings drain energy or take more energy than you think. So Yeah, the better you guide and direct your attention, the more clear and clean your mind will be from bullshit. Now, on the opposite end, on the negative end, if you're not an accountable spirit, the longer you pay attention to bullshit, the longer it will linger in your mind, and the longer it will take to completely clear it off of your mind. The longer you pay attention to it.
The fuck out that kick. What the fuck?
So,
kickers don't ever kick that good. You must have made them mad. You kicked the shit out that ball.
Number 81.
What the fuck?
As the Revcom Corps for the Emancipation of Humanity has
Kick
been out
the
among
fuck out of
masses of
that.
people, popularizing
You
the
never saw that
leadership I am
kick ever, bro.
providing,
You know you
and
never
bringing
saw
to
that
light
kick.
the actual monstrous nature of this system of capitalism imperialism that we are now forced to live under, and bringing alive the reality that there is a whole
Give me
other
my
way
fumble,
of living
man.
with a fundamentally different system. A number of people have actually asked, so is Bob Avakian running for president?
Here's Stroud.
Well, I am not running for president.
Oh my God.
Fundamental
That'd be
reason
dicky.
Your
why I
receivers
would
deep
not run
does
for
to the
president
defense. You
and would
add
never
so
want
many
to
layers,
be
and the
president.
defense has to get
I
so
don't
much
want to
depth in
be
their
a
pass
vicious
coverage. It
exploiter
leaves a lot
and
of room
murderous
underneath,
oppressor
and that's
of
exactly
masses
what
of
the
people.
quarterback takes advantage.
I don't want to
tucks
be
the ball
a
down,
massive
turns into
destroyer
a
of
That'd
the
be dick
environment.
eating,
And
bro.
I don't want
Trying
to
to
drag
get it to
humanity
Dalton
to the
Kincaid
brink
there.
of destruction
Third down coming
to
up.
the danger of a nuclear war. All for the purpose of maintaining the USA
Trying to pick this one
as
up
the
on the
world's
ground.
dominant capitalist
And he's gonna
imperialist
have
power
the Raiders
and
first
the
down.
number
God,
one
they move the
plunderer
chains on
of
third
people
down.
as well as the environment. That is the actual job description of president
Here's
of this
Stroud.
country. Head
And
of
that
this
one is
American
incomplete
empire
and brings
of
us to the
exploitation, degradation, oppression.
Oh God.
don't do that. The more you pay attention to bullshit that you don't even give a fuck about like that or don't want to give too much energy to in the first place, the longer you pay it attention, the longer it's gonna linger in your mind even after you're done giving it attention at the moment. And then it will take longer for you to completely take your mind off of whatever you was paying attention to, even after done giving it active attention and actively thinking about it. Like you'll sometimes find yourself throughout the day like, damn, why I keep thinking about this, or damn, why I keep thinking of that. That happened like 10 hours ago, or yesterday, or whatever the fuck. Or if you're a really weak spirit, like shit, even longer than before that. Like you'll be really stuck on certain energies and not have the clairvoyance to focus moving forward. Like you don't want to do that to yourself. That's like you're not even regulating your own energy right at that point. You feel me? So yeah, the longer you pay attention to bullshit, the longer it will linger in your mind, and the longer it will take to completely clear it off your mind. You might have so if you spend a lot of time paying attention to bullshit, too much time, man, it might take you a few days or a few hours, depending on how strong or how evolved your spirit is. You can probably clear your mind faster. So like, okay, you pay attention to some bullshit for like I don't know, like 5 minutes. It might take you like a minute or two to clear it off your mind. But if you're a reprobate or a weak ass spirit, you pay attention to something for like 5 minutes, it'll be on your mind for like a fucking hour or some shit. You feel me? Like you just can't move on or some shit. Pay attention to something for a few hours. As an evolved spirit, it might take you a few days, the whole next day, to get your mind off of it because you already put too much energy into it. You feel me? Or it may take you just as much hours as you did putting to clear your mind as you did paying it attention. Whatever. Now, if you're a weak ass spirit, pay attention to something for a few hours or too many hours, and it might take you like a couple days to get your mind off that shit. You feel me? Or a whole week or some shit. So like y'all gotta be very careful. Be very mindful of your energy and regulate it and moderate it as good as you can. And that's easier said than done. Trust me, I get it. Especially in this world filled with distractions and stimuli to fucking throw you off task. But I promise you, it'll be so worth it the moment you start. It'll be worth it over time when you realize you're getting better at controlling your own energy, and then you'll feel more powerful and more fulfilled. You'll spend your time better and all types of shit.
That's what I mean.
So yeah, like I said, the longer you pay attention to bullshit, the longer it will linger in your mind, and the longer it will take to completely clear it off your mind. And then depending on how aware and how evolved your spirit is, that will also play a factor in all those things too. Now, I want to leave y'all with one 3D example before I move on, to give you a great example of what I mean by this. So, what you pay attention to will linger on in the mind, right? So make sure what you pay attention to is shit that you don't mind having on your mind, all puns intended. Because if you pay attention to too much bullshit for too long, that shit gonna linger in your mind, and you're not gonna like that, right? So here's a 3D example of how that could play out in real life, in reality. Now fuck the positives and negatives of whether you want it to linger in your mind or not. Fuck that. Let's just jump into what actually happens. It's kind of like, look at it like this. Okay, look at it like this. Let's say that, let's give you, I'm gonna give you an allegory.
Have doubled their advantage. It is now a 28-14 game.
We are about to see the beginning of the lament.
Let's say that there's a movie at the movie theater, right? Let's look at this movie. It's a 2-hour movie. Let's look at this movie as something that we don't want to pay attention to, right? We rather not pay it, like let's say that this movie is like all the things that distract us, all our negative traits about ourselves, all the things that we don't want on our mind, right? So there's two people that go to this movie. There's a spiritually accountable spirit who has done shadow work to know don't pay attention to this movie because it's gonna stay on your mind or whatever. And then there's another spirit who doesn't do shadow work, is more animalistic, a less accountable, dumber human, a bot or a sheep, right? They're gonna go watch this movie and they're gonna give it all their time and attention, not knowing that it's not for their own benefit or for their good, but they're gonna give it all their time and energy, right? They're gonna pay attention fully to that movie. So when the movie is done and everybody leaves the theater, the spirit that didn't pay attention to the movie at all, when everybody leaves the theater, it's not going to be on that person's mind because he didn't pay attention to that movie at all. Completely ignored it, right? Had the discernment and the willpower and the spiritual strength to do so, and to ignore all the demons or the negative shit or the distractions that would hold that spirit back, right? Now all the other spirits who wasn't accountable enough, and they all don't do shadow work, and they're just a common human, the common sheep or bot. They're all lost in the movie, giving it all their time and energy and attention, like wow, easily distracted by it and shit, because they don't have discernment and aren't strong enough as a spirit to control and guide their attention. They paid attention to the movie and watched it from the beginning to the end. They know every single part. They know everything about it. They know their favorite parts. They know their least favorite parts. They know everything about this movie, all the details on it, all the characters. When they leave the movie theater, it's going to be on their mind. They're conversating with their friends and family about the movie. Hell, the next day when they wake up after watching the whole next day, the movie has been done. They're already on the next day. They still talking about it at the dinner table with their family and shit. Like, yeah, that movie was awesome. Yeah, that movie was good. It was a good movie. Yeah. They go to school. Everybody, the parents go to their job. It's still on their mind. The kids go to the school. It's still on their mind. It might be on their minds for the whole fucking week. But you see what I'm saying? This is what happens when you pay attention to any fucking thing, in the external or the internal. External, you're giving it attention and energy, and you're being distracted to whatever's outside of you. Internally, when you give energy and attention, and when you put your awareness on thoughts and feelings within you, even down to maybe if you're a self-loathing spirit and you have low confidence and you always be saying, oh, I hate myself, or I'll never be good, I'll never be great for anything, I'll never amount to anything. You're giving your time and energy and attention to that shit. And so it will linger within you, and it will take a long ass time for you to clear all that out and do all the shadow work to clean your being and shit and your aura from that shit. So whatever, be very careful what y'all humans pay attention to. Because whatever y'all pay attention to will linger on in the mind, even after you're done giving it attention and energy. And you want to move on, even when you're moving on to something else to be distracted by. Externally or internally, you can have thoughts and feelings within you that you're trying to ignore now because you gave it too much energy. You're trying to think and feel other shit, but those older energies still keep popping up back in your mind. Maybe because you gave it too much time and energy. You see what I'm saying? Y'all gotta now you dug yourself a hole that might take long for you to dig out of, to completely clear your energy from all that bullshit you had your mind on. You feel me? So that's all I had to say, y'all. This is what you pay attention to will linger on in the mind even after paying attention to it at the moment. You feel me? And even after you're done actively thinking and feeling about it and you want to just go on to some other shit. So be careful what you pay attention to. And that's all I'm going to say. Peace.
It's 1st and 10. They're pretty close. He pulls it in around the 5.
These are the worst. I had a couple years, Mike, where I swear I got tackled inside the 1 yard line 10 times. And then you look back and you're like, man, how many touchdowns did I leave on the board because I couldn't get one more yard? Now, for him individually, not ideal, but right now they're on the doorstep of the end zone and they got to find a way to put that ball across the goal line. That's a heck of a stop there defensively, Mike. 2nd and inches, you're thinking the first down is pretty much a formality, but not for this defense. They pack it in tight, they sell out on the run, and they're going to force this team to snap it again on 3rd down.
Gerard Mayo's made the decision, and he'll send out the field goal team. No issues there. This one is good. And the Pats will cut the lead down to 4.
You got to think 2 steps
It's
ahead.
always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
Terrific return. He's taken down just shy of midfield.
Fuck. I ain't scoring that drive, but we cool. We coolio. I ain't want no fuck shit to happen. You gotta know.
They'll go play action with Stroud. Off balance throw. It's complete.
Right
and they're going to work this down inside the 45. On the bootleg, he'll look to throw. He'll go right back to Harrison. He's got him again. After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9.
Googly moogly.
Off the play fake. Here's Stroud. And that is incomplete. They couldn't hook up there as time. Third and a yard. A handoff as they try to run it here. The defense all over that. Met him in the backfield, stopped in his tracks, and it sets up 4th down. Stroud.
Let's
incomplete. They couldn't get the connection on 4th. They'll wind up giving the ball over on down. Ball rests at the 37. It's 1st and 10. They'll stick to the ground. And he'll take this up past the 40, a pickup of 5. They'll come up now for 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams. This is intercepted. And he is going to score. A pick 6 for the touchdown. The extra point try forthcoming. The kick is good. And the Raiders will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Oh, what an unforced error at an untimely moment. Just tied the game, but then the kickoff out of bounds, and the ball comes out to the 40-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Williams. He'll get this over the middle to Diggs. They get 13 to begin the drive. It's a first down.
We gotta stop being perfect. Let's go, boys.
They'll drop to throw. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up 2nd down. Working out of the gun, here's Williams. That's into the hands of the tight end, Tyler Higbee. They've got all 3 timeouts left, but need to score quick. It's 1st and 10. He's got Laporta open on the left side. Give him 15 more on that one. They are on the move. It's a first down. Williams to the air once more. That's over the middle, but it's incomplete.
For the most part, he's been very accurate with the ball. I mean, he's completing over 60% of his passes, but because they haven't been able to get any big explosive plays, continue to push.
And he's in. Touchdown, New England.
What the fuck do the commentators be talking about?
So, certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a 2-point conversion. And he's going to lose yardage. How about the defense standing up in the red zone? They'll mark it at the 10. Even with their full complement of timeouts, the call is to try an onside kick. The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away.
With the rule changes on kickoff, Mike, it's just so hard to really expect to recover an onside kick nowadays. There's a lot of people pushing for kind of a radical change to this. Hey, can we make it 4th and 15? Offense gets the go. If they convert it, they keep the ball. I'm not sure that ever happens, but we can see here an onside kick. Not much of a chance.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. Now a give on the ground. The hole closes quickly. He'll pick up about 3. New England going to take their 2nd timeout, and they'll get together prior to this 2nd down play. They'll stick with him again. And they'll finally run him down, but not before he takes it inside the 15. Space getting tight here, down to the 13-yard line. They work 1st and 10.
This shit is stupid.
They'll stay on the ground. And he'll take this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down. On play action, Stroud. They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to...
Oh, my God. I'm selling these games, bruh.
Hi friends, this week we're talking about self-esteem, and I want to kind of break down self-esteem in a whole new way and give you a mindset that's going to help your self-esteem and not hurt it, because there's a whole shift you got to make, and I'm going to explain it to the best of my ability, because there's 2 types of people, and this is going to kind of reveal which mindset you're in, and then I'm going to tell you how to flip it, and then I'm going to talk about being worried about what people think of you and being worried about how people feel about you. And when you get like anxious or nervous or you feel like bad about yourself, I'm going to teach you how to flip that and give you this new mindset. Because the way you're going to approach things and the way you're going to think about things after this episode is going to be completely different. So let's jump into this. First thing is the two different types of mindsets. So the way I saw this the other day, like my example is there was this woman who was lost and confused at the airport, and she was trying to figure out where to go. And she had a lot of bags, and she was having trouble like pulling her own bags, but also trying to be on her phone and like find her Uber and like figure out where she's going. She's lost. LAX is god awful. The airport is terrible. But she was very confused, and it was visible, and she was frantic and panicking and kind of like worried and just lost. And my brain's first resort was, this is someone who needs to be taken care of. This is someone who needs help. She looks like kind of like a victim. Like she could easily be taken advantage of in this situation. Like I saw someone who was vulnerable, and I saw the ways I could help her and be there for her. Now, that's one mindset, because you're going to see how you're of use to people, and you're going to see what voids you can fill, and you're able to identify what needs people have. You can read a situation, you can see it, see the position that they're in, and you see how you can offer yourself to help and make them feel better. When you see someone in distress or someone in a vulnerable position, how does your brain go? Do you immediately think and see what could make it better for them and how you could be there for them? Or does your mind kind of go the other way, where you see someone in a vulnerable state and you see what you could get out of it and what you could take advantage of? Because a lot of taxi drivers will take advantage of someone like that. A lot of people will go up and rob someone like that, or pretend like they're helping her and then steal her suitcases. Like, there's two ways that your brain is gonna instinctually kind of go. But if your first thought and the way your brain immediately sees situations is how you can benefit, how you can take advantage instead of being of use, you are never, ever going to feel good about yourself or feel of use or feel like you're capable of anything. People with this type of mindset are used to having to fend for themselves, and they have to look at any opportunity to meet their own needs because they're not used to people doing anything for them. It's like you fend for yourself and you figure it out, or you don't get what you need. So I understand why people have this mindset, but I kind of want to take it a step further and break down, like, someone who's always trying to see what they can get is never seeing what they can give and how they can help and be there for someone. So the flip mindset of trying to take advantage, you're never going to be able to have self-esteem. You're never going to feel good about yourself if you never see how you can be of use or take up space in like a good way and offer things to people in this world. If you're only ever seeing what you can get out of things, you're never seeing what you can give. And you're never going to feel like you have self-esteem. You're never going to feel useful. You're never going to feel good about yourself or life. Like, life is just going to seem like a constant fight. And the cycle is just going to continue. I felt like that example illustrated this perfectly, because that's a mindset that you have, to look at things a certain way. When you feel like you have enough and you're fulfilled or you're confident or you're happy and you have resources and you feel abundant in a way, your brain is going to be in a giving mindset. And how can I be of use mindset? But people who don't have that, a lot of people have to break that. And it makes full sense why people are the opposite and look at how they can take advantage and see what they can get out of things. Like, it makes full sense. But you're going to be trapped to a life of pain and never feeling valuable if you stay in that mindset. This next portion I want to talk about is about how people see you. This is going to fall into friendships and especially relationships and partnerships, even like family. Like, being worried about how anyone sees you. These are just a couple of things that I want to give you new mindsets around that are going to make you feel a lot better and stop seeing how you're deficient and not good enough and unappreciated, and start seeing the opposite so you feel better. Like, this is the whole thing about self-esteem. You have to see how you're of use. But there's a big thing between seeing if you're of use and not being appreciated. Like, it's a mind fuck. So let me unfuck it for you. I have a whole podcast episode about caring what people think, and I talked about in that episode, you can't stop caring what people think. You can't stop being worried about it, and you shouldn't want to. Like, it's going to help you reveal so much about yourself, and that's where I'm going to go into this deeper with self-esteem. Like, the way that you're worried people feel about you is how you actually feel about yourself sometimes. But instead of trying to not give a fuck what people think and not care what people think of you, look at it. Fully look at, what are you so worried people think of you? What are you so worried they assume, or how do you think that they're looking at you that's making you feel bad or not feel good? Because all of your worries are going to become very obvious as soon as you look at it. And then every single change you need to make pops right up. As soon as you look at it, figure out what you're worried about. I'm going to teach you how to go through it. So I have a couple of things that I used to feel a lot with people, and I'm going to give you my new mindset that is like building my self-esteem and has built my self-esteem with these certain situations, and it's going to give you new perspectives to see yourself from and just fix a lot of shit for you. So here we go. So one thing that used to bother me a lot is I convinced myself a lot of people talked to me because they felt obligated to, or they would respond to me or communicate with me because they felt like they had to. They didn't feel like they had an option. That's how I was looking at it. But with every worry you have about how other people are thinking of you and feeling about you, you need to ask, is it true? So for me, feeling like everyone was obligated to talk to me, and that's the only reason that they were talking to me a long time ago, like, I laugh now because I'm like, shit, like, it was so, like, damaging to me to be thinking like this, but I was so trapped in it. Like, I convinced myself, people only talked to me because they felt obligated to. They didn't talk to me because they wanted to. And I had to question, was that true? Is there another reason people would talk to me? Is there a possibility people actually want to talk to me? Yeah, but that didn't really help that much. So I had to kind of go into it deeper and be like, why do I think everyone operates out of obligation? Why do I think that people feel like they have to talk to me and actually do it? A lot of people don't operate out of obligation, but I had a lot of experiences in my past where everybody just acted under obligation. They didn't really honor the way that they felt and what they truly wanted to do. After seeing that, I could look back at it and be like, okay, now that I can acknowledge not everyone operates out of obligation. A lot of people do, but not everyone. You can look at your case more clearly. Some people actually are talking to you just because they want to. They're responding to you, they're attentive to you because they want to be, they care. With this limiting mindset of like kind of writing off like the good about yourself, and like people want to talk to me because they actually want to talk to me, and just convincing yourself, oh, they feel obligated, you're never going to feel good about yourself. And a lot of people don't have awareness that this is going on in their head. I didn't for a long time. I just thought nobody liked me, and I didn't know why. It's because I was discrediting every single thing that they did to me to show me that they cared about me or liked me. I was just like, oh, they feel obligated. I didn't get to sit in the appreciation of, oh, they do like me. They are texting me because they genuinely like want to know how I'm doing. They want to talk to me. They want to hang out. They don't feel obligated to. Like, when you grow up and have experienced transactions a lot and like people only doing things for certain things and a lot of people operating out of obligation, you're going to question a lot of people's motives, but it robs you from a very big boost in self-esteem because you discredit everybody for what they're doing. Like, oh, they're just doing it because they're obligated. Stop looking for how people are showing you attention and love and writing it off. Stop looking for ways to discredit it and discount it. Look for how you can accept it and allow it in and say, okay, like, I see why this person would actually want to talk to me. Like, look for how they're not obligated and look for why they would want to talk to you and be attentive to you. See, that's just the first thing I wanted to bring up. Now, the second point I'm going to talk you through is a little different, and it doesn't go like this way. It goes the opposite way. So I used to not feel interesting around certain people. I didn't feel like I was exciting or special or interesting to a lot of people. I used to be so like cripplingly insecure about that because I always thought I was like boring and people thought I was boring. But when you look at it, okay, there's my concern. I feel like people look at me like I'm boring. Is it true? What else is at play here that's not that? So I looked at myself and I was like, I know what I know, I do what I do, my style is the way that it is, I can have conversations on like a very high level. I'm very, very interesting to myself. Then I looked at the people I thought I was boring. Actually, they were fucking boring. That's where that came from. Like, I felt like I was boring because they were boring. Boring people do not appreciate special things. Like, boring people don't have the capacity to like understand and appreciate something special or something fun. Like, they're boring. They probably don't even show emotion. So being around boring people, being so worried about what they thought of me, I didn't check in and see, what do I think of them? Are they exciting? Am I excited by them? And the answer was no. And that's where I did a lot of cleaning out with my life and people I was around. But that mindset stuck with me. I'm not boring, and neither are you. the people who make you feel boring might just actually be the boring ones. Does that make sense? Like, it's not being reflected to you, and it doesn't mean that it's not there. It takes someone who's not boring to make you feel special and exciting and fun. So just become aware of that in your mind. If you ever feel boring around somebody, check to see if they're boring. Check to see if they're a loser. Because it can make you feel like it's you. Because things you say might not land. They might not seem interested in conversation. They might seem to just talk about surface level shit. That's their thing. They're not even able to access where you can be exciting and share new fun things. They can't get there. So don't let that make you question if you're exciting or if you are special or if you like are fun to be around. They're the fucking boring ones. Okay? Let me just yell that at you a little bit. Because I've suffered with that for a long time. And after I explored this, I was like, hey, I'm kind of fun. Okay, now my next example is going to be something where I needed to change something. So other people was actually right. And what I was worried about was actually true. This is not a bad thing. Because like I said, as soon as you face what you're worried about, changes you need to make become very obvious. So one of my biggest worries was that people thought that I was weak and not emotionally controlled. So I had to look at, okay, is it true? And it kind of was. It kind of was. And I know I'm very mentally strong, but my behaviors at the time were when I lacked discipline and I kind of let my emotions run me and control me. So what I did was realize, okay, if I do want to feel more controlled and have people perceive me as controlled and not weak, I need to stop being weak. I need to stop letting my emotions run me and dictate me. I started implementing discipline and got a really good grip on it. I started to structure my life a little bit more and do things and give myself time constraints and force myself to show up for myself. And it made me respect myself a lot more. Because like I said, how you think other people feel about you sometimes is how you feel about yourself. I felt weak because I was constantly dicked around by my emotions. I would say I was going to do something and then wouldn't do it. So as soon as I started getting more disciplined and showing up for myself and not letting my emotions run me around and not having such big outward displays of emotion and knowing how to control myself in certain situations and not pop off and not freak out and cause a scene and be overly dramatic. I felt a lot more controlled because I was. It was all in my actions. And my actions that I used to make me feel stronger was getting a grip on myself. Literally just grabbing myself and being like, get it the fuck together. You know? But that's a situation where how I felt about myself changed just by my actions of what I needed to do. And how other people felt about me changed. I felt more respected. I felt like people knew I was strong. I knew I was strong, but it was just at certain times. It wasn't all the time. Now I'm strong and it's obvious, and people see a lot of things that I deal with, and they're like, how do you keep it together? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. But I always do. I always find a way to figure things out. I do still get very emotional, and I let myself get riled up and I let myself get sad, but I do that contained with myself, and I don't show that to people who I don't want to see it. I do let certain people see it. I do talk to people in my life, and they know I'm still strong, even though I'm expressing the times that I feel weak, because they know and they see. I always flip it. I always fix it. I always get up and do something and move and change my situation. I'll sit here and vent and bitch about what I'm dealing with, but everybody knows I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna handle it. And that's where you can still be emotional and not be seen as weak. You're complaining about your situation, and then you have a track record of showing. You complain and then you change. You don't sit here and just complain and do nothing and keep complaining. That's a weak person. That's who someone's gonna look at as weak. That's who someone is not going to think is emotionally controlled. You're just over here just whining. Whine to get a solution. Complain to invent, to get it all out there and then see what you do. Get the emotion out of you. And then get clear on what you need to do. Because after you vent it out most times, you're like, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do. And now I'm not so upset. But the other thing I was so worried about was people thinking I was dramatic. That was something I had to learn how to communicate the way that I felt so people understood. When I have an emotional reaction to something, if it seems misplaced or if it seems bigger than it should be, I'm aware because I go into myself and see why things bother me. That it's never an overreaction. There's a lot more things going on in me. And people who are looking at my reaction and me experiencing the reaction are in two different realities. I had to learn how to communicate what I was feeling, what this was reminding me of, and what this certain thing meant to me and why it hurt me, so that they understood. Then they could get into my perspective, see why it bothered me, and be understanding and not be like, oh, you're being dramatic. That's a really big thing with learning how to communicate. And a lot of people are hung up about, oh, I don't want to be vulnerable, I don't want to share these things. But communicating is giving people insight into you. And it takes a lot of strength to be able to communicate that and to be vulnerable. And giving people a clear reality of what you're dealing with makes them see you stronger. Because they might see a little situation and be like, oh, it's easy as this, like done. But they see you dealing with a lot more and still handling it. You don't get looked at as weak when you communicate more. You get looked at as strong. It's the weirdest thing, but like I used to be so worried about it. Now I communicate freely and openly, even if I look like weak in the moment, or like, I don't even say weak. Like if I let people know something bothers me, it's not weak at all. Like it makes you look a lot stronger because they're aware this thing bothered you and they see you keep going, versus they assume nothing's bothering you and see you keep going. They don't realize what you're overcoming and what you're dealing with. So it's okay to share those things. And that's what helped me a lot with being worried that people saw me as like dramatic in the past. Like I had to understand first what's going on is not just on the surface, and being able to communicate that made them see the same thing. So there's two ways you can kind of hit that one. I do need to take a quick second and talk about today's sponsor, which is Vessi. And Vessi is basically a weatherproof shoe company, and they also sell other accessories, but they sell shoes that can withstand the elements. So if you're doing anything outdoorsy and you don't want your feet getting wet, or you don't want like other shoes you have getting ruined, because they can't get wet, they'd be falling apart. So if you're going to the beach, Vessi has you covered. You can get their shoes fully in the water, like a little water shoe, but it doesn't look like one, it looks like a full sneaker. If you're gonna go hiking, they're good for that. Or if it's just raining outside and you want a good shoe that you know is gonna keep your feet dry and can get wet, but like not ruin the vibe, because their shoes are cute. And they have a lot of accessories too, like the gloves. I talk about them a lot, but I use them more than I thought I would. So like if you have stuff that you don't want to touch, that's like gross, or like if you're cleaning certain things, their gloves are really good for making a little barrier for you. And they're really good quality, because like mine haven't ripped, and I've been using them and I wash them and they're still doing great. And Vessi is doing pretty good deals right now because it's getting close to Christmas. So you can go to vessi.com/aware. That's VESSI.com/aware and enjoy exclusive discounts during Vessi's biggest sale of the year. Now back to the podcast. Now the next thing I want to talk about is something I still kind of deal with to this day, but I'm going to teach you how to flip your mindset around it and not have it wreck your self-esteem. So I literally wrote down on my notes, being worried that people think that I'm lost, confused, and unstable. I used to have a really big worry about people perceiving me this way and not seeming stable to people and not seeming like I have my shit together. Like for people to think that I was lost and confused, I let that kind of like hurt me, and I felt like people were judging me and I didn't want anyone to see that. But I had to look at, is that really a bad thing? Because the way my life is, this is fucking expected. It's very expected for me to feel unstable, confused, and lost a lot, because every single day I wake up with the career that I've chosen, everything's different. Everything changes. You guys have seen my life flip upside down so many times. I've moved like 4 times in the past 2 years, not even like year and a half. I've moved 4 times. Where can you look at someone who's doing this much and improving their life this much and look at them and be like, your whole reality is constantly breaking. You're constantly achieving new things and moving to new places and experiencing new things, and expect them to have a stable air about them. I am very stable and grounded in who I am, but like my life and my environment is what I feel is very unstable. Like what I'm doing constantly is changing. And I was sitting here worried that people thought, because the way my life is, that I was unstable. That's not the truth. I'm very stable. I'm very clear-headed and clear-minded. I adapt and do everything I need to do. But For my life to be unstable and look unstable and my apartment is not fully furnished and like I'm still working on shit with my life, that isn't all that people see. Like they see that you're stable in who you are and they see that you're handling all of this uncertainty and instability because you are stable enough to handle it. Like in you, in yourself, you are stable. Your environment in your life is not. So me having to kind of like face that made me feel a lot better. Because it's not a bad thing. And it's not that my life reflects me. Like what I'm dealing with, what my circumstances look like, constantly changing. I'm not. Like I'm growing and developing, yes, but like I am not my life and my external situation, if that makes sense. Like I thought people only saw my life and what was going on, not me. All of you see me, and you see me very stable and grounded and strong, even though my whole life is constantly changing and moving and flipping. And that really put my mind to rest when I realized that's not all people see, is just how your life looks. Like they see you. Okay, my last point I want to hit on is worrying that other people do not find you attractive. And that is a big one. So buckle in. So if you are automatically thinking and like your brain kind of assumes people don't think you're attractive, there's a couple things you can kind of check first before you start attacking yourself and trying to change yourself. What is making you think that you're not attractive to them? Not in general, to them. Because someone could be a completely different vibe from you. They could be a whole different type of lifestyle, type of look, like a grungy vibe, or like a very clean, like Sophia Richie, like pretty put together vibe. I'm over here like gold, tattoos, all black, mobster from the 80s in Miami vibe. Like that's my vibe. But like there's certain types of people who are not gonna like me. The clean, pretty aesthetic and like these little frat boys, these type of people would never think I'm like attractive. They might think, oh, okay, he's cute, like he's decent looking, but like they wouldn't be attractive to like want me, if that makes sense. Like some people are just nice to look at because they're not your vibe at all. Like they're cute, they're attractive, but you wouldn't bring them like in your life. Like you don't mesh, you're not compatible. So I just wanted to point that out. People might not be moving in on you because they think you're not compatible. It's like these little frat boys with the goth girlfriends. It actually works. Like it's funny when it does work, but like a frat boy who likes a goth girl might be like, oh, I don't feel like she thinks I'm attractive because I don't look like her. I don't look like her vibe. I don't fit that. But she still very much could be attracted to him. And a lot of people are attracted to like the opposite. So that's the first thing to kind of check. Do you not feel attractive because you don't aesthetically look like someone else's vibe? That's the first thing to question. And like I said, before you go changing stuff, you need to see, is this person's vibe yours? Like for you to go change the way that you look and the way that you present, like the frat boy trying to date the goth girl, does he need to go try and be goth now? No. And does the goth girl need to go be more like pretty and put together and try and like fit that little Sophia Richie like aesthetic? No. What they like about each other is the differences. They like that it's different. So that's something else to get. Is someone might be attracted to you because you're not their vibe and they like your vibe. So if you automatically get insecure and worried and it hurts your self-esteem, so you go trying to change yourself to be more their vibe, they might lose attraction to you because you're not your original vibe. You see? But that's why it's so important to get your own aesthetic and find out what you like and how you want to present and stay grounded in that. Like, sure, it's going to change and ebb and flow, but my look, my aesthetic is me. Like it's not gonna change much. Like certain little things will change. Like I'll get a new decoration or like I'll get a new like piece of clothing. But my whole entire vibe and aesthetic is mine. And that's where sometimes you might feel like your vibe is not attractive. That's where I'm saying ask why. What vibe do you feel like thinks your vibe is not cute? And is that even true? Because for me to meet someone who's my exact vibe, I know I'm gonna be cute to him. I know we're gonna like each other. Like it's duh, we're the same vibe, so you're confident in that. But what I really wanted to bring up is just because you think someone's not into you and your vibe doesn't mean that's the truth. Like some people like the flip and the contrast and they like it to look different and they like that their partner is different. That's what makes them attracted to you. So your brain's trained a little to see, I'm not attractive to this person because of this. explore the opposite. But now I want to talk about changing like the way you look and your appearance to try and look more attractive for someone. Always check in with yourself. Do you actually like it? Like, for you to change your style for someone, that's a transaction. Like, okay, I'm gonna do these things and change these things, dye my hair, change my body, whatever I'm gonna do, with the hope and the attachment of I'm gonna get approval and love and feel attractive to you. If you change all these things about yourself and don't get the desired outcome, you will hate yourself. You will turn against everything you just changed and hate it because it didn't get you what you subconsciously were hoping for. So you're gonna resent it. So like if you change your vibe to try and be appealing to somebody else and they still don't find you appealing or it doesn't make them want you more, that's a disaster waiting to happen. That's why I say change what you want to change for yourself. Look at, am I changing this thing because I want them to like me more? Or am I changing this thing because I want to like me more and I'll feel better if I look like this? But also question, why would you feel better? Is it like low-key because you think they're going to like you more? Or is it because you feel like it's a new confident way of being for you and that's how you want to look and you want to be? Is that the vibe you want? It's about you. Because people are very attracted to someone being the most them they can be. And it shows a lot of confidence and solid like reassurance and like, what's it called? Like stability and assurance and like appreciation for yourself. Because like, had y'all seen me get with somebody and then try and change my vibe to like a clean boy aesthetic, y'all be like, what the hell? Like, I have the clean boy aesthetic-ish. Like, I'm kept. I look kept, but I still got that like edge. But it gives very uncertain and unshaky. And when you get with someone and they immediately try and like take on your vibe, it gives very insecure. It gives not cute. For someone to just be who they are and own that shit, that's hot. Like, it doesn't matter the vibe. Like I said, like the goth girl, like if she gets with these people and tries to start dressing different, it's gonna be like, oh, you insecure, ain't it? That's when people are actually gonna think you are less attractive, is when you try to be more attractive for them, not for yourself. I think I nailed that last little point down, but I do want to say about self-esteem, when you start going into everything and realizing the things that you want to change, the moment you become aware of the way you want to present and how you want to be and how you want to feel about yourself, the moment that you start taking those steps is when all the self-esteem pours in. You're gonna feel it immediately. Like once you recognize, okay, these are the changes I want to make, and you start doing them, you start lending your energy toward that, that's when you start to respect yourself more and care about yourself more and take yourself more serious and appreciate yourself. And all the self-esteem, like I said, just pours in. It's in the actions. And sometimes it's not even the actions. Sometimes the self-esteem can pour in by taking on a new perspective. Like a couple of things that I shared and the different ways that I broke them down, just seeing a new perspective of yourself and seeing if it's true how other people see you or not. Like with me not feeling interesting, just taking on that new perspective and understanding that they're fucking boring, not me. Self-esteem is gonna pour right in. But the same thing comes from the actions. So all the self-esteem is just sitting there waiting for you. But you have to get clear on what you're worried about people think of you that's hurting your self-esteem, and you'll see what you need to change. And then you put your ass behind it and you're gonna feel real good. And the biggest reason I call this the self-esteem mindset is because you're looking for ways and doing things to stop damaging your self-esteem. Like you're looking for the thoughts that are damaging it, and you're looking for the actions that are damaging it and making you feel bad about yourself, and you're flipping them. This is the new mindset you need for self-esteem. It's always there and accessible to you. It's just how you're gonna achieve it and access it. How are you gonna access that increased self-esteem? It's either a new perspective or it's an action. So get started. There are still some tickets left to my tour happening in January of 2024. If you want a ticket, I'll put the link in the description. A couple of the shows have already sold out, but we added 2 more. 1 more in San Diego and 1 more in Phoenix. And for everybody who's pissed off that I'm not coming to your city yet, this is just the first leg of the tour in 2024. Like we're gonna...
Yo, they were going.
Diversity is everything for ABH. We serve diverse communities. We are in
So I am someone that is usually pretty good with words, and being there would be impactful because there aren't a lot of Black women in science. So I just wanted to inspire people to get involved in science. Like, it's just not something that you typically see. And I was proud to be a scientist. I was proud to be an engineer. Like, I worked so hard for my bachelor's degree, and I had just gotten my master's by the time the pandemic hit, and I was working towards this PhD. And I quickly realized during the beginning stages of my PhD that people didn't care. They didn't care about me. They didn't care about Black people. They didn't care about, in some ways, some people didn't even care about the science. So I was the only Black person in my department of, I don't know, maybe, I think at the time it was like 50 graduate students. There weren't any Black faculty members or staff. And the only Black people that I would talk to were the custodians every day. You know, if I was in the lab at night, I would say hi. Or the cafeteria ladies, I would stop to get a snack and they would like give me a free snack here and there, or like a free bottle of water. And those are really my friends. Like, how sad is it that your friends are the custodians and the cafeteria ladies? You know, they were really nice though. I love them. And I would always, you know, go and say hi to them and check in with them. But, you know, I didn't have a community in graduate school. And when the pandemic hit, I also began to realize that people just didn't care about taking care of Black people. And that was really what I thought I was there for. Like, that's what I wanted to do. But, you know, when you work on research, like my research was in nanoparticle maternal fetal health. And I'm not going to talk about the actual research. If you want to know, just Google Scholar Me, whatever. That's not the point of this video. But when you work on a treatment or when you work on drugs and those drugs get past, you know, all of the in-lab or in-house studies and eventually gets to clinical trials, which everything doesn't get to clinical trials, but if your treatment happens to get to clinical trials, they don't test it on Black people. They don't. They will take a very simple subset of people, and there are several stages that it goes through, but Black people aren't a part of that demographic. So even if the treatment gets through the several stages of clinical trials, which typically takes at least 10 years, Black people never see those treatments because, for one thing, they don't know if it works on Black people. And also, the treatment is typically so expensive that most Black people can't even afford it. So it's something that, you know, the top 1% can afford. And after that treatment is on the market for decades, that's when the price actually comes down. But typically, like, if I came up with the cure for cancer tomorrow, Black people wouldn't see it for another 30 years. And when I realized that, I just thought, why the hell am I going to the lab every single day? Like, people are not actually going to see this. And when I was in graduate school, I think I was 22 when I started. So I won't see anyone even trying out, like anyone who looks like me wouldn't even be trying out the treatment if I were, you know, 50. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me, and I didn't feel like I was making an impact on my people. And graduate school is a very, very tumultuous process. For anyone who doesn't know, the goal of graduate school is to do something that someone has never done before and contribute new knowledge to your industry. So, like I said, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of my research, but essentially it's your minimal little itty bitty part of knowledge, and you have your advisors and you have your committee. And your advisors are experts in the field, but they're experts in their own subset of the field. And then your committee is also made of experts, but they also have expertise in their own, you know, individual parts of the field. So the fields are related, but
start your own staffing agency anywhere in the U.S. with Real Pro Staffing Affiliate Program for only $19 per month. Learn more at realprostaffing.com. Start your